Yep, I found a new Portal 2 mod that's currently being developed. And you guys really seem to love Portal mods, so I thought, well, why not cover this? It seems pretty promising. It has a nice looking ModDB page, and it even already has a Steam page. The mod I'm about to talk about is called Portal Singularity Collapse, and without further ado, let's get into it.
LambdaGeneration.
Portal Singularity Collapse is being developed by a team called Project Collapse Studios, led up by Polish modder and Derek. And it runs on the community-developed Strata Source engine, which is a modernized fork of Source that allows for improved rendering, bigger maps, and more. This mod puts you in the shoes of an unnamed Aperture scientist working in the Epsilon Labs, which houses a massive black hole that helps Aperture in the creation of many new groundbreaking inventions, such as the Portal Gun. You know, the gun that you use throughout all of the Portal games and most of the mods. I don't really think I need to explain this. However, an unforeseen accident ends up sending you forward in time. Your goal is to now find your way back to the past by using new technologies and by going through test shafts that even the astronauts, war heroes, and Olympians weren't allowed to test through. As you can tell, the story as written on the ModDB page so far doesn't seem to be entirely complete yet. This is either going to be made more complete later on in the mod's development, or maybe they're not giving away too much on purpose in order to keep the mod interesting. What is pretty clear though is what it promises in terms of features. It promises new puzzles set in new, never before seen areas within Aperture, like a new area called Recycled Aperture, and it also promises overhauled textures, graphics, and more thanks to Strata Source. It also has an original soundtrack that's going to accompany the tests, and they even mention a new testing element that they're going to be using called the Supercharged Laser, which according to them is a blue-colored laser that will split into two normal lasers when it comes into contact with redirection cubes. Pretty interesting. The first actual development post was posted to ModDB on November 13th, 2021, in which they showed off some of the mapping work that they have already done. They also list a few roles that they'd like to have filled on their team, including a modeler/texture artist, sound designer, and puzzle designer. There is also a YouTube embed for their first bit of soundtrack that they wanted to show off, but unfortunately it's been made private since. The first media updates these kinds of mods post have always been super interesting to me, as you can quite easily see where they started and how it's going now. Throughout all of the other development updates that they have posted, you can see the project and the mapping getting better and better, and the development updates themselves getting chunkier and chunkier as well. I seriously like a lot of the mapping work that's being made for this. Just look at this tunnel, for example, and the stuff you can see outside of that tunnel. And this cool looking lobby area that you'll be exploring. This is all from the April 10th, 2022 development update, by the way. The next media update that was published in November of 2022 shows off a bunch of screenshots of the test chambers, and, well, I guess you can see now why I wanted to talk about this, because the mapping and lighting work looks great in these images. Apart from that, we're also treated to a new poster that you're going to see in the mod, and some concept art of one of the testing spheres. Pretty cool stuff. And then we get to our very latest media update that was posted in March of this year. Yeah, they had a bit of a gap there. According to their media update, it's because some personal stuff just got in the way, which with a hobby project like this is bound to happen, to be honest. But that doesn't mean that this media update isn't chunky. They talk about a lot of things here, from the sound design, the texture design, music, story writing, and much, much more. They also show new map screenshots, a 3D model of the supercharged laser dispenser, in-game looks at what the textures are going to look like, screenshots of the new tools that they themselves have been developing for this mod, which they are also going to make available and make open source as much as possible once the mod releases, by the way. And they even have a 4-minute long gameplay video showing off the recycled Aperture style that they want to go for in the mod. Recycled Aperture is basically old Aperture environments with new Aperture materials here and there. Like they recycle the old test chambers and put new stuff in it. In short, Portal Singularity Collapse is a really cool and pretty interesting mod that's currently in development. When will this come out though? Well, that's not entirely certain yet. According to their latest media update, they expect that they still have a long journey ahead of them. But they do already have a Steam page, so you can wishlist it now and you'll get a notification when it actually comes out. Handy. And that's all I got to say about Portal Singularity Collapse. There is a bunch more things you can read about over on their ModDB page and by searching through their media updates. So if this project interests you, then go ahead and check out the link in the description below. What do you think of this mod? Would you play it? Would you skip it? Are you tired of Portal mods, or can you just not get enough of them? Let me know in the comments. I love reading them. And hey, while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Valve-related content. Oh, and like the video. It helps me feel good.
LambdaGeneration.